And that's it. That was a great interview. Thanks so much for being with me,
Well,
Larry.
yeah, thanks, Ben. I really appreciate it, my friend.
Great. Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek. I am in Long Beach, California for the Long Beach show and stopping by Stack's Bowers to hang out here with Larry. And Larry, we've got some interesting things to talk about a little bit.
Man, a lot of phenomenal coins.
Just a little bit. And we're not even going to, we're just going to tease you with the library that's just sitting behind us and not talk about it at all because we don't know what.
What can I say? Stack's Bowers is a magical place to work at. There's lots of coins and books and fun stuff for geeks like us to geek out about.
I don't know if any of this is even in English. It's all like Ipsilon Corum stuff.
A lot of Byzantine stuff right behind you.
Okay, great. Good stuff. So I'm going to show you a bunch of coins. And they're coins that I've never seen before and coins that many people have never really seen before.
Yeah.
But first, I just got to talk a little bit about the backstory on this collection because the story is just the story is great.
It's nuts.
Right.
It's the sort of story we dream about.
About to get what you might call Stockholm syndrome. So tell me. Anyways, I'm not good with having people actually laugh at my jokes when I tell them. So
we're always laughing on YouTube with you. You know?
So what is this with?
Yeah.
So what is this this collection that's coming from overseas?
The specific one we're talking about right now is the Bruun collection, and let me tell you, it is even people like me that are fortunate enough to be around a lot of phenomenal coins. It is next level. It is a private museum tour. Basically, you had this wealthy butter merchant that started collecting when he was a boy in the 1850s. So you got to think like that's Liberty seated $50 era, that sort of like, but had a lot of money because they made butter, which was a very useful commodity.
It was a hot commodity back then.
Yeah, still is. And so started collecting coins very seriously. And at that time was able to collect things and build a cabinet to like protect his coins. And, upon his death in 1923, he had assembled the collection of Danish coins and actually gave it to the Institute of Denmark for the museum, basically to act as a hedge to keep them around. He loved the institution and wanted to make sure that they were around. So if they ever got in trouble, they could sell the coins. Well, it also stipulated that 100 years after that 1923 death, it had to come to market if that institution was still solvent and good to go. And here we are. And so 100 years has passed. It's time for it to go to public market, and it's going to be the most valuable collection of world coins ever to be sold.
So this is, first of all, so is there an estimate on the collection value? Or is that
it's about 500 million Danish kroner. Okay. So to put that in greenbacks, we're talking about 76 million US dollars.
Okay.
I mean, it's a substantial sum of money, and these coins, I wouldn't be surprised if it went for more than that. They're perfect. So it's really incredible.
So did he collect only Scandinavian coins, or what type of
Primarily, you've got a lot of that region, a lot of Denmark, but you get some Germany, you get some British, some other things like that in there. But generally just around that region. There's no Mexican coins, sadly, for myself.
That's okay.
But
that's all right. I mean, the fun thing about the hobby is you get to learn about all the different regions and histories and stuff.
And that's what got me into world coins to start with. Was I did U.S. coins for so long, still love U.S. coins and collect them. But after a while of seeing the same Morgan dollar for a long time, it was neat to see other dollar-sized coins with a crazy design on it.
And the original dollar.
The original dollars.
The DAL.
And there's a lot of those in this collection.
Is there any plate money?
Yes, there's huge plate money, including some that are
No one's heard that part. Don't bid on those against me. I'll give you my bid list.
He's calling dibs.
That's right. That's right. I want some of those big dollars. So it was in a museum and not really even available for public viewing. It was basically there. It was at a museum.
Impounded is probably the right word.
It was at a museum, but people couldn't see it.
Right. And, it's been basically hidden from the world as a landmark of that country. And now it gets to be spread out and shared with the world.
Is there anything you can relate to this in like the U.S. realm of collecting?
I mean, it's kind of like the Pogue collection was in terms of sheer quality. I mean, you're talking
about volume.
You're talking about coins that have graded as high as 69.
Yeah.
And even MS 69, not just proof, which is mind-blowing. I mean, that's what an ASE might grade today if you're lucky. You don't get the 70, you get the 69. So to see coins from the late 1800s in that sort of grade, and multiple of them, like all the way down, and coins from the 1600s that are in superb gem, it's unbelievable. It really is.
Man. Yeah, I was thinking of like the Ford collection, which was like 21 volumes of US, but that was also,
as far as completion,
that was
just a ton of it.
See, but that was everything, because that was paper. You had tokens. So is this collection, is this all coinage, or is there any paper?
There's a lot of other stuff too.
Is there local, regional, script and things like, I think of metals and tokens and stuff like that. So we've got metals, we've got tokens,
yes.
we got
lots of coins,
and we have coins, obviously. But is there paper money also?
I think there's some of that, and then I know for sure there's lots of books, which I'm not sure. I don't think we're necessarily involved in that, but a phenomenal book collection along with everything.
So
else.
He had his coin collection and book collection both.
You can tell collectors haven't really changed even 200 years. We always have that collector bug.
So I know most of us collect multiple things, one way or the other, whether we mean to or not. Yeah. So does he have a Gutenberg Bible? I'm just asking.
Well, I mean, there was a, and I think in 1928, don't quote me if that's exactly wrong, but there was actually a listing of a lot of his stuff published as far as that inventory that was in the museum. But honestly, it's not in English, it's out there kind of obscure. So really, I think the best real inventory list is going to be coming from us as we actually get it graded, encapsulated, and actually put it out there. Then it's going to be really the go-to standard for that.
So everything is freshly graded. And then it's going to be, I assume the labels will be for the collection.
They are. It's got the Bruun's picture, a silhouette of him. It's actually a gorgeous label. I'm not generally one for special labels, but this one is it's gorgeous. And it's all done by NGC. NGC we worked to deal with them, and they're the one encapsulating everything. And
so how many, do you know how many auctions this is going to take?
Oh boy.
And over what time period? Because when I mentioned the Ford collection, I think it was 21 or 23 catalogs, and I think it was over a 5-year span of time.
We're talking a similar span. It's probably going to be 5 years to get this out. There's about 20,000 plus coins.
How do you decide the order in which, for the Ford collection, I remember it was by type, kind of like, so for a U.S. collector, you would have had one collection really focused on a certain area, like, one may have had mostly patterns, one in commems, another one might have had Western Americana, had its own section. So you had like early Western bars and early Western script. So it was kind of like you had genres you put it into. So, how do you decide where to...
Yeah, and
who makes these cuts? And
well, the whole team makes the cut. So it's definitely not me. It's definitely the whole team, and I think it's a thing about just getting that inventory list first. We're talking about something that really hasn't been seen by humans too much, or really inventoried in over 100 years. And so, what is actually there? What's the actual condition of it? Because you can have something that's... So I think it's that. It's trying to figure out what are the absolute immediate highlights, the things that you see that's just like, well, that's $1 million single coin, which there is one in this that could potentially be that level. 1496 Noble from Denmark, phenomenal.
Nice.
And so I think you try to find those first, the known high stuff that is going to be good. You get that, and you start with that, get some hype around it, and then I think it's just a matter of the next thing with this is all good.
I'm going to go biblical on you right now, because don't you save the best for last, which is, I mean, can you build up to saving like the best coin for the final auction? I
think it might be tough.
I don't know how to, it's hard to be patient, and you want to make sure that, in my mind, you want to have some real zingers in every...
I think that,
auction.
you don't want to have...
It sounds like there's going to be zingers all over the place.
It's basically a time capsule from 1850, 1920. It's all great.
So, are there going to be any coins that the average guy can afford?
Yeah. I totally think that. I mean, they're like, I plan to buy a couple myself, and I think it's going to be a real spread because, in the beginning, the first couple auctions are probably going to be these real, and there's going to be expensive stuff throughout because a lot of stuff's rare, a lot of stuff's really high grade. But we're talking 20,000 plus coins. There's going to be something.
His collection was probably like a lot of ours, which means some of your earliest coins you bought, you kept. even if it was like just a real nice steel penny, as a kid, you know what I mean? And so he probably has a lot of what we would call miners, which is a term for like just a smaller coin versus, anyways, collecting crown-sized coins. When I was a kid, we called them miners and crowns.
Yep, so fractionals are miners. Yep.
Crown was a big, miner was small. But there's lots of stuff. There's lots of very small coins from Europe from the 18th century that you can get in high grade that aren't that expensive.
Exactly.
So I'm hoping there'll be some of those scattered throughout that people can afford. You pay a little extra for it because it's the collection, but at the same time,
it's as fresh of a coin. If you're going to get a 1/6 Skelling or something like that, that's that it's going to be the nicest one that probably exists, and it's there, and there's probably a handful of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. I think there's a lot of opportunity at different sizes. The crown size coins, as you mentioned, are always hotly contested, and the big gold pieces. But there's a lot of other.
I'm only going to be looking for plate money because I need
big money.
I need something else that I don't have any place to put in my office. I just need some new bookshelves to take up more space. Do you build these?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking. Thought I checked. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to. Let's look at some coins that I have no idea what we're gonna get into.
But it's awesome.
But we're gonna have fun.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks. So let's get cracking on some coins that we are not going to be cracking out of holders. We're just going to get cracking as far as looking at some stuff that hopefully we've never seen before. And here's these cool labels that we were just talking about, the Ellie Bruun collection, and you got the cool silhouette there. Very regal looking holder indeed. And let's see just what a stunning piece. So one of the things that Larry had mentioned is that just the stunning quality. So it's one thing if you've never seen the coin before, which is understandable, because when you're looking at European coins from the 1600s, there's lots of stuff that you and I haven't seen before, right? So some of the design elements are going to be, some of the coins themselves are things we've never seen before. But some of the design elements actually look, somewhat similar if you've collected English coins or French coins or German coins, because actually in Europe, a lot of that stuff traveled, right? Look at this cool design element. Fives all around. And MDCXCII, we've got some data action going on there. And here we've got, so this is the catalog number on here, that 7090.
Yeah, that's his personal catalog number.
His original. And so, is that what's inside of these guys here?
On the red flip, yeah, it should be handwritten on the little thing there. There you go.
And so each of those is, if it had a card, it's going to come with the auction item, right? So, and is the smaller number what he had paid for it, as far as you know, or what is that, pencil number?
I think that's the, I don't know. Each card, every collector writes a little something on it.
Yes, yeah. Everyone has their notations. So, we might not know exactly what they are. So I'll try not to lose. I'll try not to lose anything here. Something that's a little bit more familiar for some of us, because I've actually had some of these 20 kroners here. I actually had some 10 kroners, very similar style and look. Actually, I think I've got one in my showcase at the show right now. But I will say mine didn't quite look like this. I was pretty excited, I think, when I got like an MS64. And this coin here is a proof version. And you can see just how it's very much so, or very, very, very original fields. Proof 68 cameo. Lovely piece, lovely piece. Let's see here. We're going to get these one at a time and just have fun with them here. Excited to see some silver. If we got any, Larry, if you can find any copper, also, I don't know if there's anything in here. We don't have 20,000 lots in front of us that we're going through. We just have a handful that are, you could just pick them randomly and go through them. And sometimes I'll talk about on the channel just
almost like I started using the term the flesh of the coin, that's just that original surface and how it looks. Here's the 17. The date on this is split, so the 17's over here, the 94 is over there, and the crest in the center. What a beautiful piece. One Riggs dollar.
Doesn't look like any copper here.
Specials. Might not have any copper in front of us. That's okay. That's okay. So this is 65 plus, and then the DAV, that's the Davenport number. And this is a style I've had something kind of similar, but I'm just infatuated with the way the front surface of this coin is compared to just about anything else I've seen from that era. And, you know, you can get kind of nice Scandinavian coins, European coins from that time period, but man.
Yeah, full cartwheel luster is not something you see often.
Yeah, exactly. Full cartwheel. All right. We got, this is a 1 ducat, as some of us Americans say ducat. Of course, I probably didn't say it right either time, so there's that. But once again, just proof-like quality to the surface on this coin here. You know what I really appreciate is all their different marks that they had on their coins. Here we've got a heart. I didn't point it out last time, but on the previous coin you have basically like hammer and tong. You know, you've got the hammers, the crossed hammers. And so they've got some really cool
symbology
symbols on theirs. 66 PL on a 1694 coin. And boy, that feels every bit of a 66 PL. And so, you know, maybe Larry, you know, maybe don't, but on this type of stuff, do they, you know, on a coin like that, is there a reason for it to not be a proof? Does there have to be a record for it to be a proof versus a PL? And
I think it's just a matter of if there are records that they made proofs, you know, and in this case, there might be back and forth even between professional numismatists on whether something is a proof or isn't.
Yeah.
If there isn't good foundations. I think it just comes down to a look, though, in a lot of cases. If they're not sure.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I know that we have some diagnostics, and I know that even on U.S. coins, there are coins that have, still you'll have guys argue over what's an actual official this or an official that. And so this is officially awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, you've got a larger coin here, little hallmarks, big surfaces with just fantastic luster and a slightly proof-like finish. Look at that. $17.71 and another dollar. I'm a 64 plus. And like on this coin, I don't care about the grade. You know what I mean? Like it's cool. And I don't care that the other coin was a 66 and they're calling this a 4 plus. What a cool looking coin. And then, you know, one of the things that it's helpful to know if you're in that world is if you have studied, you know what all the initials are. Mm-hmm. And, you know, some of the German coins, they'll have like 25 single letter initials.
Yep.
And you'll be like, oh, okay, well, so, you know, Norway, what is this? Norway, we got God and King, Denmark, here we go. Gloria and love is, I'm sorry, is that Latin? Amore would be love, right?
Yeah. That's well impressive.
No, yeah, well, it's impressive when you start to translate the wrong language. Yeah. Very impressive.
I'll tell you might want to keep that one close by. Just as you always get the question about pluses versus stars. And like this is almost the same design, very close, very similar in time frame. But here's a 64 star versus the other was a 64 plus. Pick your favorite.
I mean, so your plus should be a coin that is really high quality for the grade and just maybe a step away. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. You know, the star designation that NGC does is for eye appeal. Mm-hmm. And it's something else that you could see like that coin that was a PL. You know, that little ducat we were looking at earlier. I mean, you may as well call that a 66 star. I mean, 66 PL star.
Yeah, I agree. That one was almost dimple, right?
Yeah.
That appearance. And this one has that sort of proof-like shimmer to it, and the fields have a little bit of that. Not quite enough to call it PL, but I think that's probably what they were going for.
And there's those crossed hammers I was talking about. I mean, they're not identical. One's got the point on the backside. 1768, and you do have the same verbiage on this coin here. What a cool looking coin that is. All right, I'll take that one. I'll take. All right, so I'm excited about this guy. I'm already excited about this guy because it has the look and feel of a German wild man.
Yes.
And
but in a smaller package, but prettier.
That's it. That's it. Well, I mean, once again, you just look at the overall quality, and it's like you've got to stand back. Now, this is the traditional back you'll see on ducats.
The Holland ducats and stuff later on, Netherlands stuff.
Yeah. And one of the things that's interesting on this piece is they're calling out this is 23.5 carats. So now is this, let me see, one species ducat, 23.5 carats, 67 Steicher, 1 Mark Bruto. So is this a multi-language, multi-denominational? Are those references to, okay, I'm hilarious, like, don't ask me anymore. Ben, stop asking me questions.
No, the short answer is I don't know off the top of my head, but that would make a lot of sense given the region, right? I mean, you have multiple different languages spoken.
So I know that you have later coins that were, had francs and oh, there goes my mind. But you'd have the multiple denominations on one coin. So I was wondering if this is, a lot of trade that was designed to go into different countries would have multiple denominations verbally on the same coin. The coin can just circulate with its overall metal content because money was metal and metal was money, right? So they didn't have to stamp things. This coin is just so cool.
Isn't that gorgeous? Like just the cameo on it. I mean, it looks like a modern piece. It really does. It has this sort of like, oh, that was made in 1960, right? No.
Yeah, they didn't make anything this pretty in 1960, to be honest with you. 1794, MS67, and once again, grading is cool, but also, son of a gun, that coin is just
really great. You've been talking a lot about original skin on a coin, and like considering these have been away for 100 years. Yeah. This is a great example of original.
So these were all stored. Now, did he have one? How many cabinets did he have?
This being a fairly wealthy individual at the time, actually built a giant custom wooden cabinet with big drawers that has specific spots for each of the coins.
Wow.
If you haven't seen the online video that we made and I made and put up, it's great. It has a lot of pictures of those cabinets as it does in the press material. They're awesome.
Yeah. Frederick I, Davenport, UNL, that'd be unlisted.
Unlisted Davenport number.
Unlisted. That's exciting, right?
Yeah, and that's the other thing about all of this. I've been asked a lot for a lot of comps on these. Like, what's that going to go for?
What is a comp?
A lot of this stuff, it's very difficult because there isn't any. Like, there's no relevant comparison, or some of the stuff is so rare on its own. So this is going to kind of be the market setter for a lot of this material.
Do you know, obviously the word unique can imply lots of different things, but I mean unique as in to its type, not necessarily to its condition.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's are many unique pieces as far as, so like this is unlisted, which to me means, okay,
you haven't seen a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably known and have been known. Davenport wasn't the say-all and be-all, but at the same time, having a coin that's unlisted in Davenport usually means something, right?
So something a little different. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure there are some unique things though in the collection. I'm given the state of it. This is an example of they don't have to be all high grade to be incredibly cool or incredibly rare.
All right, so this is making me sad right now, and I'll tell you why. This needs to be in a holder where you can see the coin, and what I mean by that is, this is actually in a double thickness holder.
Yes.
And, you can't tell from looking at it from the front, this coin weighs twice as much. It's not the plastic. I want to be able to see how thick this coin is. So tell your friends at NGC.
Next time, put it in the floating.
Hey guys, I need this reholdered. Well, the floating would be amazing.
I wish, right?
Also, I don't know how any of their, listen, I don't. It's not my job to work on their technology, but I'm just saying, like, on this thicker case, if they could do even like the 4 sprockets like they can do on the smaller ones, that would be super, super amazing.
And while this is a large coin, I know we were talking off camera before, there are some coins in this collection that could weigh up to maybe 40 pounds. We're talking massive, massive coins.
Yeah, so this is super cool. Nice VF35 coin, super collectible. I'm just, man, that coin is so fun.
Right.
Let me look at the silver one that I used the holder as a comparison here.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's
a little more modern, but boy howdy.
Yeah, well, I mean, but also, sometimes we talk about the finish on a coin, and so the modern coins, there's a lot of modern coins now where we started getting into types of reverse proofs, things of that nature. This is fascinating because this coin here, once again, it's listed as an MS67, and that fine line between just calling something mint state or specimen, there's this other thing that you can go with instead of saying something is mint state or saying it's proof. You can say, well, it is a specimen piece, which is kind of in between. But also, can I say this coin just absolutely one species? Yeah, there it is. Once again, though, I mean, we were talking about this before, but the commentary on that is, if we have evidence that these coins were specimens or proofs, then we will label it. But if we don't have evidence, we will just call it mint state. This coin is fascinating.
And you got to know, this is the sort of era where he was actively collecting and alive. So he probably went and had this specially given to him at the mint.
There's no way this coin's not a specimen. I mean, the face of this coin has been burnished separate from the fields, and I don't think I've ever seen that on a coin from that time period.
This is where a lot of this is so esoteric.
I mean, look at the.
It's perfect, nearly, right?
Well, no, it's not. Obviously, I'm not talking about contacts. I mean, the actual portrait is burnished.
It's got a different finish than the surfaces.
Yes. Yeah. And I've never seen something like that. Once again, we're talking about a coin here that is multi-denominational, right? So we've got 9.5. I think is that stivers, or well, it's the same thing as on the ducats. Yeah. It's not stiver. It's what it's DYKK. There's a bunch of K's in there.
Skillings.
But here's you've got the mark, one mark. So you see the different denominations on there. And that one really got me. That one got me.
And again, being from the era when he was actively collecting it right before at the beginning of it, could be special.
So here, this is an 1813 issued piece. And so this one, what Larry was talking about, and what we're both talking about right now, is just whether something's a proof, an uncirculated, or a specimen. This was actually listed as SP66. Which, if you're out in the desert, that's probably high enough for you, but on those sunny days. But actually, no, so specimens, sometimes that SP label will be on there for a coin that's known to be a specimen. And once again, just the surface quality. Okay, I don't want to say it's juicy, but it's juicy. Look at that.
All right, how about something completely different?
And now for something. Oh, right. See, now you're getting me kings and queens and guillotines. Look at that. Oh, so last time I was in town, I got to look at some medieval stuff that was just like silly, and this is super exciting. So, 1646. Look at that. Let's look at the detail on this guy. Let's look at the back first.
And I like the dimensionality on that one. It's really well struck.
So one of the things that is interesting about, I know lots of guys that if they collect crown sized or tallers, they'll want to have a lion dollar, right? And they're not usually too picky about the year or the exact design, but as long as it's got the lion on the back, that's what they want. So what's cool is, and you talk about just the overall strike, the majority of those coins, MS62 on this guy, the majority of those coins are so oddly struck, and they've got like big flat spots all over the place.
Planchet defects.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Even the ones uncirculated, quote unquote, are
they have complete flat spots on them. And so in this one, once again, you talk about something that could possibly be a specimen, something that was set aside for dignitary, because when you know what their struck coins that circulated looked like, okay, they didn't look like this. This coin has, also PL fields not on here, but those fields are definitely have a touch of the proof-like finish to them. And that's a coin that you got to imagine was struck specifically for royalty.
Or just really, really well taken care of, and by a collector at the time. Yeah, super picky. It's tough to tell.
I'm not trying to puff it up. It's just
awesome to see.
It's just awesome.
Like I was telling you before, like all of these people here in the office that see amazing coins, some of the best in the world all the time, are like kids in a candy shop. They're looking through this. So I highly recommend to all your viewers, like if you have an opportunity just to go to lot viewing, or do any over the next 5 years and see some of this stuff, just go look at it. Like, have it in your hand and take a look like we're doing. It's so much fun.
Yeah, so what's cool is that lot viewing, you can go to any major show where they have lot viewing and just go and look at stuff. It's really amazing. It's an opportunity to look at stuff that, even if you're never going to purchase or bid on a coin, you can go look at the coins and see stuff that you could only see in a museum, and you actually get to hold it. And it's just a pretty spectacular opportunity. MS66 star on this ducat, 1800 OL. Yeah.
Pretty incredible.
Sweet.
And, there are thousands of these coins, so we'll have no shortage of ones to show off.
Here's another double.
Yep.
Another $2. 2 Rigsdaler.
2 Rigsdaler, yeah.
So this one's cool. It's got that nice big piece of metal taken out of the edge of it. But I'm like, huh.
That reminds me of the William and Mary crowns that you see from England, where you got both portraits, together, and
1727. Yeah, these doubles are so cool. So in Germany, lots of times, so they had double dollars, double thalers. They were usually not thicker coins. They were more broad coins. And so if I buy this one, I'm going to crack it out. I'm just telling you right now.
Though that's a great transition.
Just so I can hold on to it. I'm just going to pick it up.
The opposite, which is P-forts or F-forts. When they were double thick. And so this is an example, a lower graded coin, very rare, but you can tell how thick and chunky that coin is.
Yeah, so this coin has the size of something that's a little bit smaller than the US dollar, larger than a half dollar. And so, but also it has the weight of $1. And it's a little bit thicker. So are these basically the same thing as a trial strike? Like a pattern?
That I don't know.
Like a trial strike?
Particular issue. I know in some cases it just was a matter of weight. Like we were talking about before, they needed to get up to a certain weight, and but I don't know in this particular instance. So I can tell you it's a beautiful toning for an AU50 coin. Really lovely.
Yeah, super cool piece. So that one, was a Pyfort AU50. And I do think the labels are pretty cool.
Can't not hand you another 68 coin.
Well, there goes the grade reveal. I'm just kidding. So funny. It's all good. It's all good. So maybe, you know, and once again, just talking about a coin that has, you know, such a high quality that you're not used to seeing on a coin from, you know, the 1800s. And so, you know, this is, you'll see coins from the 1800s that'll have a really nice look to it, right? But to find something else that really has what you would just call specimen quality. Once again, it has that little bit of a proof-like finish to it. Yeah, just let the coins do the speaking on that one. Super cool.
We're gonna do a couple more. How about yeah, go ahead and grab that one.
I'm still waiting for my plate money. I'm gonna go to lot viewing and find.
Yeah, that'll be the lot viewing.
Are these guys? So lot viewing is happening already. Is there an auction date already for the first auction?
So I believe it's a little later this year. I think
Okay.
it's there's a preview of it online right now for the first group of it, and yeah, there's a selection of some of the more expensive stuff right now. Some of the more wow stuff is currently at Long Beach here this week. So if you're at Long Beach, you can totally take a look at the 1496 Noble and some of the 169 graded coin that we have there. It's nuts.
Yeah, super cool. So this one, 67 star. Yeah, I like the star. I like the star designation.
Yeah, I do too. All right, how about one more for this group?
One more.
Look at that way. Another double thick.
One more fatty. The modern fatty, not the old school fatty.
I wish it was the old school.
Man, I wish you guys could feel this. It's so cool. It's so cool. I mean, they're just so heavy. There's something about a big coin that just feels so good in the hand. So 1650 on this double-sized dollar. Yeah, just don't ever let it stop, Larry. Just keep sending them my way.
I'm telling you, with 20,000, we'd be here for a while.
we got a couple more minutes, right?
Yeah.
So 20,000. That's it. There's that date. As the date goes around here, 1650. By the way, if any of you guys are, if any of you guys are been on this stuff or you're an expert on this stuff, make sure you drop some notes in some comments, just explaining some of the stuff, exactly what it is. Larry said the last one, and I grab another coin here. Let's take a look here.
Who can blame you, especially with that one?
1746. So this one is not dated, or is dated. Let me see here. Yeah, there's the date. The date was in parentheses on the label, which in my mind means that there's not a given date.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious if on this piece, if it was because it was a commemorative that they did that. The fact that they put the date in parentheses and yet the date's still on the coin.
Could be a held date too. Something that's like
okay,
that
it
was
was
made in 46 and they made them for
struck for a few years. 65 star.
Like those Maria Teresa ones we see so much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shoot. And don't ever let the night end, guys. Guess feeling like a king for a minute here. I'm gonna grab one more silver coin. There's another one that just has that really nice finish to it. It's intriguing because, he put this stuff together at a time when, grading wasn't a thing.
Right.
And so, but I'm seeing some things just don't change over time.
Quality is quality.
Quality is quality. And, before there was guys collecting proof-like coins and specimens and stuff, he was doing that very thing, right? I mean, you look at the quality on these coins, he clearly knew the difference.
And had a good grasp of rarity. I mean, I guess he's buying enough that he knew certain dates were hard to find or something like that, which was interesting.
Well, like lots of collectors, even if you don't have a reference book, you just know, I don't have one of those yet, or I already have one of these. Another coin with a proof-like finish to it. All right.
I just keep handing you.
No. Keep them.
This one I thought was just interesting because of that portrait. Like
a very different design.
Yeah.
You will. So for someone who's not familiar with any of these coins, you'll see that you're starting to see kind of some similar looks and styles and feels. And this actually has a similar look and feel with the outline of this coin. But then, you know, a complete front-facing portrait looks like there's a scepter. So this could be I was going to say this could be a coronation piece. This is when I see certain symbology on a coin, it makes me think of some things. Oh, and there's fun date. Hey, look at this guy. That is a 1 and a 5, and that is a 3 and a 4. 1534. I wish my handwriting looked that good.
Me too.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, that's fun. I really have always enjoyed 16th century thalers. It's just amazing.
Look at that one. I won't ruin the grade, but oh my goodness.
I'll ruin the grade. That's okay.
Look at the left.
Once again, so 1824. So he was collecting this stuff in the 1850s
to 20s. So like this would have been, he would have, you know, got this when it was fairly new, 30, 40, 50 years maybe after it was made.
Right, so it's like someone finding a coin from, you know, whatever, the 1990s.
Really nice Lincoln cent, you know?
Yeah. This is a real nice Lincoln cent.
That's really nice. Like there's a couple of these just stop you in your tracks with eye appeal, and that one's just like, wow, that's shouldn't exist.
Yeah, MS66. Once again, you can grade it whatever you want to. Just look at. Man,
Right.
good stuff.
There's a toner.
Yeah, he wasn't collecting toners. He was toning. He was toning coins. Why aren't these all artificial? Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Like.
Well, that's why I love the color. Like on this last one and that one. I mean, they just sat in that.
I mean,
can.
honest to goodness, you know, it just feels like these things are specimens. I mean, the amount of, you know, I'm used to looking at U.S. coins, and I understand coins that I see that come proof-like and coins that don't come proof-like.
Yeah.
The finishes on these things, though, it's like, I'm intrigued.
I mean, I am too. And you
Gratefully.
gotta think some of the later ones, there's probably a lot of that. But also, like, these were hidden during the 100 years in which coin doctors doctored coins and dipped them and everything in the 70s and the 60s and all this other. They were hidden away. And so, like, this is pure originality in its best form, which a lot of us haven't even really seen, you know, on a lot of this stuff.
Well, and that's a good point. I mean, you can take the opportunity to look at stuff like this and just understand kind of how the coins can look. This reminds me of, actually, I do have some medals from this time period that actually have a little bit of that eye appeal to them. But super cool.
Maybe one more.
Okay, this is really the last one this time.
For right now.
Really the last time before they kick us out.
Show.
Yeah, super cool.
Strike on that one's really nice.
Yeah. Well, this is, I mean, the portrait just pops. Now, were there lots of duplicates in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's duplicates of some stuff.
I'm just curious because I think of as I've update things over time. Ooh, dragon. There we go. Extra points.
So pretty. That's a really cool piece right there.
This says you.
It feels the era. Like
yeah,
that piece just looks different.
All the mythical creatures having a big old party. That once again, that kind of almost proof-like surface. Hammer and tong. We've got gentle toning. Yeah, and the strike is really incredible. You know, because it actually has a little bit of that domed field, and you know, comes up around the edges, struck all the way up. Where some coins you'll see flatness in that area, and this is just beautiful, beautiful. Well, I mean, all good things must come to an end.
We can look at some more at the Long Beach show this week if you want, but yeah, there's a lot of coins.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Ben the Coin Geek. You can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.